let's start.
Mic টা দিবেন।
Today we are going to know session. What is session? Okay, so first of all, session is an implicit object which is used to carry the information from one page to another page. In other words, we can say session is used to store user information on the server. If we set session in one page, then we can use that session in other pages within the application. Session used to depends on the browser. If user turns off the browser, session will automatically get deleted. Real life example: login, logged out, code, session, implementation. Actually, it is a user state mechanism of website. Whenever a user logged in into a website, or whenever user is logged out from the user, how could we identify who is logged in and who is logging out? How long he or she will visit to your website? How long?
Facebook we assume that keep me login option.
Keep me login option. Absolutely right. That option is not a part of session. That is a part of cookies, which we will get to know in next class. Okay. Today we are focusing on session. Session means whenever you logged in, it will capture the username. It will capture the IP address from where the user is coming and the login time. Okay. And cookies mean keep me, sign in, remember me. If you remember me, that means all the data will be saved to your browser. And next time if you hit the Facebook, it will take you to the internal page automatically, as because your username password is set. Okay. Cookies used to store information on a local computer, where session used to store information on the server. Got my point? Do it. So today we are going to work on session. So in PHP we can create, retrieve and delete session. To work with all of that operation, we must need to write session underscore start at the top of the page before HTML starts. বলছে সেশন নিয়ে কাজ করতে গেলে, লাইক ইউ ওয়ান্ট টু ইনসার্ট এ সেশন or retrieve the value of a session or delete the session, you must need to write session underscore start function at the top of the page. Top of the page মানে before anything. যেখান থেকে HTML স্টার্ট হচ্ছে তারও উপরে গিয়ে লিখতে হবে। এটা উপরেই লিখতে হবে, তলায় লিখলে লোকাল হোস্টে কোনো প্রবলেম আসে না, বাট পেজ হোস্ট করে দেওয়ার পর একটা ওয়ার্নিং চলে আসে, সেশনটা কাজ করে না। So that's why we must recommend to write session at the top of the page. Okay. And to accept session, In PHP we have $_session array. We have an array $_session by which we can accept the data. Today we are going to focus on the login page, where we can provide some security on login page. Like আমি login করলাম, after login we are visiting to welcome page. So if that time hacker copy the entire URL and then next time hit that URL directly, your page will be displayed, right? But if you maintain session, that page will not come up if it doesn't get the session. What my point? So see how we are going to implement this. Go to file, to new. You need to have a PHP page. We are going to create a basic table layout. So here we are going to create table, a simple table object, and into this we are going to create a tr. Under the tr we are going to create th and td. So this is for username. We are just going to copy this tr. This is for password and this is for button. So here we need to write username. Here you need to put the input type box. So input type text. We provide the name as username and we give it as required. JavaScript dile tobe ID lage. We are only focusing on the PHP part. So password, input type password. We are going to provide the name as password and required. We done. And here on the td we are going to have a input type submit. So input type submit. We are providing a name as login. We are providing a value as login and close.
ভ্যালুটা কি জন্য দিচ্ছি?
যে বাটনের উপর যে লেখাটা আসবে, form name we give it as reference and the method we give it as post. And we didn't say any action because I want to redirect on the same page. That's why we didn't give any actions. So now we need to save it. So click on save all. We need to save to C drive under the WAM www. Creating a new folder. Today is 07/10/2015. And here we need to provide this as a startup page. To provide startup page we need to write index followed by whatever extension it is. But if you write index, then it will become the startup page. Now we need to start the WAM server. Now here click on the WAM server. WAM server will be getting started. Now open up the browser where you want to run and test your server pages, the PHP application. And to run the WAM server, here at the address bar we need to type localhost/enter and WAM server will be coming up. Now here you need to choose your project, that is 710. So if you click, this will be appear. So now this is username, this is password, this is the thing we have created so far. If you click login, this will be done. Got my point? So now what we are going to do? For this example, I am going to say that if user clicks on the button, then something would happen. Okay. So how to track down the button? For that we need to write if is set $request and the name of the index. The name of the index is login. So that means if user clicks on that button, then we are echo the fact that welcome or something like that, just for testing purpose. Okay, so what we have did here, we are just tracking the name of the index. What happened, the moment you click submit, then it will send the entire form element as an array to the server. So from the server we are now getting, is there any index exists by the name of login, which is the name of the submit button. If it is there, then we can say welcome. So that means indirectly approach, we are tracking the button, that whether user clicks on the button or not. Beautifully done. PHP says welcome. So that means it's working. So here, instead of writing this echo welcome, we going to do something like this: dollar username equals to dollar request, and that will be the username. We grab that. On to the next, we are writing password equals to dollar request, that would be the password. Now here we are making it static because we didn't know database so far, so that's why we are writing if username equals to bub2 and dollar password equals to bub2 123, then we should say login successful, right? And if it is not, other than something, then else we are going to say echo I want to print a JavaScript alert. So that's why in here we are going to incorporate that script and /script, and we are going to write alert invalid login, or better to write invalid
password,
username and password. We done. Okay, and here we are writing echo login done, just for testing purpose. This is a very simple login code actually, a normal if else. So let me check it out how it works. So now here welcome, we are providing something. Okay, sorry, we need to refresh it first. So providing anything and click login, you see that invalid username password is popped up. So if you provide the correct one, which is the bub2 and bub2 123 and enter, login done. So it's all working. This is simple if else. Now where I need to put the session when user login is successful. So this is the area where we need to implement the session. We need to store username, IP, login time into the session object. Getting my point or not? So when user will be logged in, that time session will be implemented. But to work with session, we need to register the session with the server. That's why at the top here you need to write this particular code, which is session underscore start. Now ask me people why we need to read this, because this function used to register user session with the server. That's why we need to write at the top of the page before anything gets started, right? So we write that. Now echo login done. This is foolish, this is only for showing you guys. Now use the session variable. Session, provide any name. We are providing the name as, for example, user, and that will be hold the value of username. Oh god, that will be username. Now I want to store the IP, from which IP he or she is coming. For that we need to write $server, and that will be remote address. That's it. And here we need to get the login time, and to get the login time, what we need to do, $session, we give the name as anything, as I told you, login time, and that will be date, and here D M Y H I S, S and capital A for AM or PM. But there is a box in PHP. PHP by default set date in USA format, USA time zone, whatever it is. Exactly. So that's why we need to reset back into Indian time, and for that we need to write that default time zone default here you have the
date default time.
exactly date default time zone set. Here you need to write Asia Kolkata. So if the time zone is different, okay, then it will be back into the Kolkata time zone.
এশিয়া কলকাতা লিখলেই ধরে নেবে না
Exactly, ধরে নেবে।
ইন্ডিয়াটাও দিতে হবে?
না না, Asia Kolkata.
কলকাতা
So that means we have done with the coding enough. We are putting the username into the user and the IP and the default time zone is set to Asia Kolkata, and then thereafter the login time is there. So if all those things are done, then what we are going to do, here we are make sure the page will be moved from here to welcome.php. That means if user provide the correct data, all those things will be grabbed into the session, and then it will tell the page to go to welcome.php. Clear? Location means which page if you want to move, but the
header
welcome page is not created. So header is used to transfer the one page to another page. Okay, it will change that page and take it to welcome.php programmatically. So go to file and new. Here we are going to create one more PHP page. This is here, and here we are creating a div. Give it as div /div, and here we are writing welcome $PHP $session, $session user IP. We need to show the IP from which IP he or she is logged in, so that will grab in session IP. Okay, and here I made a blunder. Here you need to write what? Here you need to write echo, otherwise it will not echo the output, right? So here goes the code echo, and finally IP, and then the time of login. The time of login is the same thing, echo dollar
আচ্ছা ইকো করে ইনভাইটেড কমপ্লিট হয় না নাকি স্যার?
না, এটা তো ভেরিয়েবল, কেন দেব? যদি কোনো স্ট্যাটিক মেসেজ দিতে হতো তাহলে দিতে হতো login time. Now here again put a br, and we are writing a href logout dot php, and here we are writing logout. But this div will be appear. We are providing a style sheet. We are making it float right. Basically on the right hand side top it is used to display the information. That's why we give it as this. And this div will be only appear if this page contains the session. That means here we need to say if is set $session and let it be user. If user session is exist, only then this page will show this div. Otherwise it will be redirect to the first page. So header write the location, and that will be index.php. Absolutely right. And this, to retrieve the value, even though we again need to write session_start. So this is the whole code, guys, to retrieve the code. And as I told you that if you set session in one page, you can use the session in several other pages. Globally it will be available. So that means if what we have did so far, it's a lot of coding in quick time. Welcome.php. So now if you go to index page, we are making a login form first. User are provided by the particular value like bub2 or bub2 123. If the two data are provided correctly, then all those information will be saved into the session until user turn off the browser. If user turn off the browser, it will be deleted automatically. Then it will take us to the welcome.php page. And when it will be go to welcome.page, it will check first if the user session is exist. If user session is exist, then this div will be come up along with all those information. Otherwise, it will be in index.php. This otherwise is unauthorized access actually, guys. If somebody try to access the welcome.php directly without logged in, then this page will not get the reference of the user index, which is a session. So in that case, it will take you to the index page automatically. That means it's the security purpose. That's why we have written this code. Got my point? So see now in real time what we have here. So if as a hacker I want to get read into the welcome.php directly, so if I try, it is back to index. So that is a very good programming sense. So that is what people used to see in professional world. If you implement a login code, they used to write, okay, what is your internal URL, type it, and if it is display, you will be rejected because your product does not contain any security. So there is no need of login, na? We can directly access that page. But here you can see the moment I am trying to access it without get login, it is redirect back to index. So how it's maintaining the state is maintaining the state through the session, because it knows if the user session exists, then this div will be appear. Otherwise I will take the page header to the first page. So only user logged in will be able to go to that page. Otherwise it's not possible. So let's try to give some wrong information. So try it. Now you try to write welcome.php. Still is not work, because I tell my PHP interpreter if these are these two, only then this session will be available. Otherwise not. So still it's not getting the proper session. But now I am doing with the correct one. Beautiful, and you can see here welcome bub2. Bub2 has no private IP assigned, and this is the time of the login. That is 7/10/2015, 11:40:23 AM, and this is the logout button. Okay. So now the problem is, if we are trying to, if you refresh, there will be no such thing. The same thing will be there because you are login. The same session is exist. But if your hacker copy this URL, now you turn off the browser, and again you went back to the browser and type the same thing here. You see, it's redirect back to the index page. Why? Because I tell you clearly, session exists until browser exists. If you turn off the browser, the moment you turning off the browser, session is automatically getting deleted. When the session is deleted, then when you try to access the welcome page, the same scenario will fire. The same scenario will fire. It will not get the value of user. So it will skip the entire div block and go to else and get back to the index. So this is the security. That's why we are implementing session. Clear? Now the logout code. If user click the logout, then we are going to manually delete all of my session. So create another PHP page. Here I think no markup is required. So in my logout page, PHP. Similarly, you need to write session. That will be _start. And I want to delete the session. So that's why you can delete the session in two ways. Either you can delete individually by using a function called unset, and in unset you need to provide the session and the session name individually. But if you have too many sessions created into your web application, it is not possible for a developer to individually remember all of them to delete. So there PHP decided to create a function like that, session underscore destroy, and it will delete everything. Now here we are making a echo where we are writing script, and here we are writing alert. You have successfully logged out. You have successfully logged out. And on to the next, we are writing echo meta http equip. We give it as refresh content. Page will be getting refreshed back to the index.php. That's all we want. Just a simple coding, guys. So we done. So here we are make sure that you can delete the session individually, specifically by the name, or if you write the session underscore destroy, it will delete all.
session destroy লিখলে হবে
না লিখলে কি করে হতো? সে ডিলিট করতে গেলেও সেশন স্টার্ট লিখতে হবে।
না আমি বলছি আনসেট না লিখে শুধু সেশন destroy
delete all the session. We need to write this, and this is for delete a specific session by the name of the session. Okay, so delete a particular session. So delete a specific session. We done. So now this is the whole scenario. Now we need to test it out. Okay, we need to give the name, which is logout.php, and we done. So now here see what we have. Now it's a very useful thing. Try to get rid this login. It's an invalid one. So if user try to get rid into the welcome page as a hacker, he is not permitted to see that. And now we are logging with the correct one, that is bub2 and bub213. Have a look at that. We have welcome bub2 and the time when he logged in. Now I click on logout. You have successfully logged out. Now click OK. You will be on the same page. Now if you again to try to access the welcome page, beautifully done. It's deleted. It's not let you to see that. But there is one thing we need to cross check, which is we are logging in. Now we are logging out. Now if I click this back button, and in back button we have the welcome page. See, click, 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 everything is appearing except that page. Because the moment you are destroying it, you see that page will never come up for security reason. That means you have to log in, you cannot hack this product. That is the security of PHP. Got my point? Clear? So that is the entire thing actually. Got my point?
UC browser is basic problem.
Exactly. But now this tutorial is not end. This is I am going to create 3 videos of it. The first video, the login and logout mechanism. In second video, I will show you how to get how long the user spend time with us. And third, auto logout code. Suppose people used to log in into your website and doing nothing, just get logged in. So your server is busy. This server is maintaining the state of that particular person. Suppose 1000 number of users are logging up but not doing anything. Then our server will automatically detect those ideal person, and after a specific time let them automatically log out. If they are not log out by themselves, then we will create a such system which will force them to log out automatically to make your server available to everyone. If you don't produce this kind of code or mechanism to your web, that means your web server will getting very busy, and those who really want to access your website for real purpose, they will be not able to access it because of this problem. So that's why in third tutorial that will be an awesome code of jQuery to make a auto logout, and before how to get how long a person spend a time with this website. Got my point? So I am ending up the first tutorial. If you have any queries, then ask me, and I will